So you're probably wondering, what the hell is fortune teller cereal? I'll explain. You see, I have this heart shape on my chest, and I'm the only one in my family who does. What that means is that I am like the family seer. The rest of you would probably call it fortune teller, but it's a little bit more complicated than that, and I'm not really going to go into detail about it, but it's not really important. The point is that I have a very, very high perception. I can perceive things, I sense things. If I have a gut feeling, it's almost always for a reason. And when I was a very young bun, in the mornings, I used to make cereal. Pretty much every day I would have cereal for breakfast before going to school or going out or doing whatever I was going to do. And my family had these bowls. These bowls were of a normal size. They were definitely cereal bowls, but they had a brown line around the rim of it. And this was very important. My day was determined by my ability to make a bowl of cereal. And that sounds incredibly superstitious, I know, but hear me out here. When I make the bowl of cereal properly, my day is fantastic. Everything goes according to plans. I don't have any sort of issues, any sort of troubles, and I was very quick to pick up that my ability to make the bowl was what would determine the rest of my day. So if I could make the bowl of cereal properly, I was guaranteed to have a good day. If anything went wrong with the bowl of cereal, I was going to have a rough one. And what would happen is my sister would look at me like I was a weirdo because I would have very violent reactions when I failed to make the bowl of cereal properly. Now, this bowl is important, and the line is important as well, because the process is essentially, I pour in my cereal into the bowl, right up until the top of the brown line that goes along the rim of the bowl. Okay? Then, I place one hand on the surface of the cereal, holding it down, and I'll leave a gap between my fingers somewhere. Then I take my milk, and I pour that in, holding the cereal down, because the cereal often had a tendency to try and float. Can't let that float. Cannot let it float. That's bad. Do not let the cereal float. The milk level is supposed to go to the bottom of the brown ring around the rim of the bowl. That's the exact amount of cereal and the exact amount of milk you need to make the right bowl. Success means that you're going to have a good day. The day is seeded and primed to be a good one. What happens very frequently, though, is cereal would fall out of the bowl, milk would splash, something would happen to mess up the perfect bowl. And depending on how bad it was would depend on, how bad the day was going to be. But basically, I was predicting my day by the ability to make the cereal. And my sister, who isn't a seer, couldn't really understand why I would get so upset whenever something would go wrong. Because every time I failed to make the bowl of cereal, guess what? I'd get in trouble at school. I'd get blamed for something I didn't do. We'd have a test. Homework goes missing. Backpack has a rip in it. Something horrible would happen that would just... There were times where I would try to make cereal, something would go wrong, and I would basically just say, I don't want to exist until tomorrow. And nobody could understand that because I'm the only person who has this perception. So yes, I used to fortune tell with my bowl of cereal. Funny story is, I'm pretty sure my mom still has those bowls. I should ask her to send me one. Again, I know that it sounds like superstition, but this had a 100% accuracy. I've never made a perfect bowl of cereal and had a bad day. I've never ruined a bowl of cereal and had a good day. It is 100% accurate. So accurate, it got to the point where I decided that I would be better off not making cereal in the morning because I would rather just not know. And that's one of the primary reasons why I stopped eating cereal when I did, and I really haven't gone back because I can't find those bowls anywhere, and I'm afraid I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to that. It sounds weird, I know, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in another video.